Hey everyone, Diavolo here, and welcome back to my review for chapter 1021 of One Piece. If you guys are new around here and want to keep up to date with the latest One Piece reviews, spoilers, and more, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and also leave a like on the video as well, as it really helps out with the algorithm and pushes my stuff to a bunch of new amazing people. But anyway, enough of that, let's get into this chapter. So chapter 1021 is called Demonio, which is actually, I'm pretty sure, Spanish for devil, or can mean, any evil or wicked person, pretty much, like anything along those kind of lines, which is quite interesting when it comes to the title of the chapter. So obviously that could mean Black Maria being evil and being a wicked person, or the fact that maybe something is going to happen with Robin throughout this chapter. But pretty much, the entirety of this chapter that we are going to get is Robin versus Black Maria, and it's carrying on from last week where we were in that battle. Also, we do have some huge stuff that happens towards the end of the chapter with Momonosuke and Luffy, but we'll get to that then. So the chapter starts and Robin uses a new attack called Sea Serpent, which is like using the giant arms that she has around her that we've just seen in the end of the last chapter as she's gone into her giant form, and she uses them as kind of like snakes, I guess you would say, to try and attack and grab Black Maria's arms and try and pin her down. But as Robin's doing this, she sends out her arms, and Black Maria uses like the spiky tip on the end of like her feet or whatever, and as she does this, Robin like retracts her hands so that she doesn't get poisoned or hit by this. And when she does this, Black Maria kind of like realizes that Robin will take all of the damage in her main body that she also takes while she's using her devil fruit, or that the devil fruit type body takes as well, will also damage Robin. And while Robin's like retracting her arms, Black Maria uses a new attack that's called Maria Nest, which is like spider webs, obviously, that she can shoot out to kind of grab and pin down all of Robin's arms so that she can't use these extended ones or the extra ones that she has now. And after pinning Robin, she uses a new attack again called Oshizu Maria, or Binding Maria, and that kind of like grabs Robin's arms and splits them completely apart so that she can't do anything with her giant form at all now, and she's completely trapped, I guess you could say. And after like trapping Robin so that she can't do anything or fight back because all of her hands are tied, Black Maria like hops on top of her and puts on some knuckle dusters and begins to start punching Robin's face with another new attack called Orion Knuckle. And this attack like affects the original Robin, who in the end has to like pull back her giant version of herself. And then Robin decides to create forearms behind Black Maria to try and like grab her and pin her down. But Black Maria uses her technique Dead End Maria, which creates like this wall of spiderwebs, and it stops Robin's hands from being able to even get near her at all. And after blocking Robin's attack from behind, Black Maria like asks the spider thing that she's on to turn and burn the webs that she has just created in that area, and this ends up kind of lighting the entire area on fire around Robin, trapping her in this like kind of infernal blazing room that she probably won't be able to escape from unless Brooke is there to use his cold soul and put out all of these flames possibly. And Black Maria like begins to mock Robin. She says like, I think you should try to bloom something else in this place, although I think no flower can bloom in the middle of a sea of flames, which is quite a sick line if you ask me. I think that sounds really like poetic and quite awesome to hear coming from an enemy, obviously, and then again because Robin's ability involves flowers with the petals and everything. So, and as Black Maria is like talking to Robin, she's putting out more spider webs that kind of block Robin in place and don't really let her do anything, so she can't escape from behind. And I guess while she's doing this, she's saying to Robin, in the end you couldn't finish this fight quickly as you said. You had to come to cover Blackleg's failure, and now that you have lost, you both will just look stupid. And then she laughs and is like, why don't you tell the skeleton to put out the fire again? And Brooke, who was listening to this entire conversation, answers pretty much instantly and says, what a stupid thing to say. Black Maria-san, if I were you, I would get away from there as soon as possible, and does this like yo ho ho thing, and does this like laugh where he yo ho hos. So obviously Brooke has a lot of faith in Robin, as he should, being part of the Straw Hats and believing in Robin and believing in everyone as they always do. And it looks like probably Robin has something more up her sleeve that we're going to see throughout the rest of this chapter. And like I've said in previous videos, I feel like the fight between them is going to end this chapter, just due to the fact of Robin's endurance when it comes to her devil fruit and not being able to use it that much because of how much energy it takes to use. And just like a lot of the other fights that have happened with the members of the Straw Hats, they've all been like 1 to 3 kind of chapters long, just like with Jimbo, who had, I think, pretty much 2 chapters in a row where he was fighting against Who's Who. So here again now we have Robin versus Black Maria, and I would say this is probably the last end of the fight here. Black Maria like continues to punch Robin's main body, who's like caught in the net that she'd put up behind her previously, and she tells her that you're merely a tool. Your brain is the only valuable thing that you have, so you don't need your arms or your legs, not even your personality. Pretty nasty thing to say if you ask me. And I guess like this sends Robin into a bit of a trance where she goes into a kind of flashback where she remembers the time that she had with the Revolutionary Army, and Koala and Sabo are there and they're trying to like teach her, I guess, different techniques and telling her different things that she should learn. And Koala offers to teach her the Gojin karate technique, which is something that we've seen Jinbei use in the past before, and Sabo offers to teach her the Ryosuken, which is the Dragon Claw's fist or Dragon Claw fist. And before Robin, I guess, decides anything, Hak arrives and says that Koala and Sabo should leave Robin alone since her joint lock is strong enough and she doesn't need like, you know, really any kind of protection. But not listening to Hak, Robin like agrees with Koala and Sabo and says that she might want to learn a little bit about how to use their palms or how to use their techniques, I guess. And Koala and Sabo happily agree to teach her. And Robin thinks back to the few times that she's used like these techniques after the skip, and she thinks about how like both of these techniques, I guess, have been quite useful in what like has been taught to her. And I guess immediately, you know, after this flashback and snapping out of it, Robin like regains her strength and uses a new attack called Mille Fleur Gojin Karate Gigantum, sending her palm like flying past Black Maria and crashing it like into the ceiling, creating like this massive shockwave. It's kind of similar to the Gojin Karate punch, but not exactly the same, obviously, because it's a palm technique. And the rubble that falls down from this ends up putting out like all the fire around the area and destroying the web that were kind of pinning down Robin and blocking off all the escapes around the area. And this is when I guess that title comes into play with the chapter. Robin uses this brand new technique that looks absolutely stunning in this like kind of double or 1.5 page panel where she's using this new form called the Demonio Fleur, and she transforms her body into like a black demon with these big like bat wings that kind of stretch out behind her, and she's got horns on the top of her head and her body is completely black. And I'm wondering, is she using, you know, like color of arms haki here, using armament haki to coat her entire body so that she is more durable like in this form? Because that would be absolutely insane, and something that I think I brought up in the last video about how if she could punch with like a bunch of haki arms and not having them like take damage so that she doesn't take damage to her body itself, then it could be super useful in a fight or in a battle, and she could actually like kind of step up to that next level along with the rest of the Straw Hats, obviously. And I think that's what Oda's doing here by possibly giving her armament haki, but I'm not really too sure. It looks like she's just completely black though from what I can see, so I guess we'll have to wait and find out for it to be confirmed. Black Maria's like a demon, and Robin says, I'll become a demon if I have to, because I have people that need me, people that rely on me. And Maria tells her to like stay away from me. What the hell is that form? Robin's like, I take it you don't need your legs and your arms, right? And Maria, obviously having this completely flipped on her now with Robin standing over her, is like, wait, no, I can't have this like role reversal almost put onto me, and starts screaming out. And she's like, wait, no, not me, you're the one that doesn't need them. And that is where I guess the fight between Robin and Black Maria ends, as Black Maria's subordinates kind of try to come in and find what's going on but can't see anything because Brooke has put up this entire like ice wall so that they can't see in and see anything that's just happened. And it looks as though Black Maria has been completely knocked out and is bleeding from the mouth, so extremely similar to the previous fights that have happened with Ulti and Robin, and also with Who's Who and Jinbei. So I would say that this is the end of the fight for sure. And then here as well with Brooke, where he beats these 3 subordinates pretty much instantly after they end up breaking through his ice wall, and like Brooke steps in front of them and uses this like new attack of his called the phrase Damaria's Orchestra. You get like another sick kind of double page spread with Brooke taking them out using using like a clef symbol, I guess, in his attack, going for the entire music theme of his character, and it stretches across all three of them and knocks them out in this one blow, which is quite astounding. After Brooke does this, he grabs over and grabs Robin, who has just fallen down and I guess, collapsed after she's won her battle as well, because she's completely out of energy now, and she's seen by one of the merry birds that is watching them, which is quite interesting as well, just to see there, before it skips over to what I was saying earlier on in the video about Luffy and Momonosuke, and obviously, we've got Caribou and Shinobu here as well. And the interesting thing is, obviously Caribou has kind of confronted them, or they saw him and he's gone over, and it turns out that Caribou had an entire month's supply of food stored in his body, and somehow Luffy has gotten a hold of it and is now completely destroying his entire month's supply of food by munching it back in one whole sitting. And you can see like all the heart pirates are there completely and utterly surprised, and Luffy is going absolutely ham on all the meat which is there, which I think is hilarious. And I'm so happy to see that he's actually eating now, because it means that he's going to be going back up to Onigashima to fight very soon, I would imagine, probably within the next 3 chapters, sometime within then, I would say, all depending on kind of what happens here with Momo. This next part of the chapter that happens was like kind of the main thing that was the most exciting to me, at least anyway, out of the entire chapter. Like, I know Black Maria getting beaten by Robin was extremely exciting, but this to me is just super cool. And that is in the last page of the chapter, like Shinobu and Momonosuke had gone off from, I guess, the group of heart pirates and Luffy and Caribou, where they were all eating and talking and stuff. And Momonosuke has obviously asked Shinobu something, and Shinobu's like, I can, but why are you thinking like that? There is no way I can let you go to such a dangerous place. Momo's like, but at this rate, the flower capital, Wano Kuni, will be destroyed. And then Shinobu says back to Momo, is like, if I do it once, you can't return to that form. Your mind will still be that of a child. Obviously, if you guys haven't caught on yet, it's the idea or the thought of turning Momonosuke into an adult, which is something that'd be awesome, I think, honestly. I would really like to see an adult Momonosuke. But Momo says, I don't mind if I'm able to transform into a big dragon. Please, Shinobu, use your Juku no Mi to make me become an adult. So obviously, yeah, as I just said before, he's going to hopefully be turned into an adult, and this is why I can see Luffy possibly going back up to the island and say, like 1 to 3 chapters, just for the fact if Momonosuke is turned into an adult and then can fly or like turn into a larger dragon, he'll comfortably be able to take Luffy up and probably a few other people. And the only reason or possibility that this wouldn't happen is because of Shinobu not wanting to turn him into an adult and send him back to, I guess the front lines, you could say, up in the battle there. But it's something that I think needs to be done so that the samurai have someone they can look to, because at the moment, Kinemon is down and out, Momonosuke is not on the island, and Luffy isn't there either. So they've kind of just got Yamato, I guess, and the other Straw Hats all around them to look to for encouragement or support when it comes to the battle. And they are seeing, I guess, victories with specific members of the Straw Hats, but I think we're probably going to see another loss when it comes to Yamato, just for the fact that I think Luffy will end up being the one that defeats Kaido. I don't see Yamato defeating him at all, but of course, if you think otherwise, let me know down in the comment section. And the idea, like the flower capital, Wano Kuni will be destroyed, is Onigashima going to drop in the flower capital and destroy it? Is that what Momo is meaning by that? Because that's a possibility there as well, obviously, but we'll have to wait until Monday at least to get the full confirmed translation of this chapter. Because of the Olympics, it's been held back one entire day this week, and hence why the spoilers and all that kind of stuff were late this week as well, was just because of the Olympic schedule and how it's the finals of the Olympics now. But yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts on what you think about Momonosuke and the possibility of him turning into an adult, which, like as I've said, I think's awesome. I really think it'll progress the story nicely, and maybe he looks something similar to, like Odin, and it really throws Kaido for a curveball, because all this prophecy about Odin showing up after 20 years, or like the possibility of like him being defeated after 20 years, same with Orochi, this would just throw them for a massive curveball, seeing someone who probably looks extremely like him. But yeah, same, I wonder even how Yamato would react if Yamato sees Momonosuke and he looks a little bit like Odin. I'm extremely interested and want to find out more in that kind of aspects, but I guess we're going to have to wait until these up and coming chapters, and I'd love to know what you guys all think down in the comment section below, so make sure sure you do chuck a comment down there. And if you guys are new around here and want to keep up to date with the latest reviews, spoilers, and more, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and also be sure to leave a like on the video, as it really helps out with the algorithm and pushes my stuff to a bunch of new amazing people. Also be sure to check out my Discord if you need to find a link to the chapter, or even if you guys want to keep up with the spoilers weekly, I will leave a link to that down in the comment section pinned below. But yeah, anyway, for now it's been your professional degenerate, Diavolo, and I'll see you all in a bit. Bye.